Evening, everyone. The absentee spiritual director, why klaro? Sige na lang, you have to just be patient with me. I thought I was late. We had a Council of Deans meeting today, and then the meeting started exactly at 1 o'clock, and we ended up about 15 minutes ago. I rushed, running almost crazy coming here because I don't want to be late. I prepared a codigo actually so that I will not get lost, and we don't have to stay here the whole night. Okay. Since 3 weeks ago, there are quite a number of things that I, as an individual, have to be very grateful about. Remember the second convergence, and followed by the Paschal Festival, Holy Week. And my foster mother, the mother of Ellen and Nina for June, I might still remember the names of my sisters, returned to home for retirement. It was on the 12th of April, and on Holy Wednesday, she collapsed, and she was rushed to the ICU in a certain small hospital near UST, and I went there only on Tuesday of Easter octave. She has been looking for me, and when I arrived, she was helpless, paralyzed, almost the entire body was paralyzed, and she has been at ICU for almost since then. And I still remember very well my homily on Holy Friday was, Trix is not here, because I asked her to sing. I could not make it myself. I did not want to cry in the middle of the Mass or the celebration because of the pain. But I thought of looking at God's presence, God's life, and God's grace and gifts to me even in the faces of pain. And so I asked Trix to sing for me the blessings. And I almost could not proceed because my mind was really flying on Mama. I wished to see her, but then because I could not find any replacement of the assignments during the Holy Week, so I just pour out all my thoughts in that very song. What if the tears? What if the pains? What if all the negative experiences that we have in life are actually God's mercy in disguise? Unless I knew that my sister Ellen held the same message, for her to be strong facing the challenges. When I arrived at the hospital, and then she immediately forwarded me her cry on Holy Friday, the exact song that I chose as my message, the second point during Good Friday celebration at the Church of St. Arnold and St. Joseph. And before I came back the other day, because of series of meetings that I have to attend to, I told my two sisters I cannot stay with Mama in this trying time, but I will come back. I just don't know when. And I'm thinking of flying back to Manila this evening so that I can be with my mother at least tomorrow, and then return again tomorrow evening. But this has been too much. And so I did not question anything, and I just remember a few things that I need to share at the end with you tonight. Because we are still very close to the Easter octave, so I just titled my sharing as Easter Community or Easter Person. What does that mean? And we will find out along the stories that I will share. Having said my personal story, I will bring you back to one of the sweet memories I have in this community because of this girl. Do you recognize her? Yes, certainly you remember her, right? She is so pretty. My angel. And then, and I know not every one of you see her this way. This is just few minutes before she released her last breath. I was able to anoint her. I was able to visit her at the hospital, and it was Barth who took care of her. And this is Jenny May. I remembered her when I experienced the same pain over my foster mother. One of the most beautiful deaths that I experienced in life of those dear to me were once, I remember my grandmother. It was Pentecost Sunday that I celebrated my Thanksgiving Mass. And then during the Mass, I noticed that her face changed. Sometimes I saw her so pretty, and then there are other moments when I all of a sudden saw that she looks like a corpse, dead person already. The face changed. And alarmed by that, I knew she suffered from cancer of the ovary even when I came to the Philippines in 1993. But she really waited for me. And she promised she needs to see me before she goes home. And that afternoon, I told her after the Mass, Lola, I have so many visitors, I will bring you home, but wait for me, I will come. And she waited for me the whole night, but I forgot to go home to meet my promise. And the next day, I realized that I failed my grandmother. I went, instead of celebrating early morning Mass, I told the parish priest, I said, you go ahead with the Mass and I will just celebrate another Mass later in the afternoon, alone or with my family members. So I went home. And she was there still, sitting and waiting for me. And then said, I thought you came last night. I said, sorry, Lola, I have so many visitors. Yeah, I understand, but my grandson, who is a priest, is a liar. I said, sorry, I beg your forgiveness. Okay, I forgave you because you need to forgive me now. I want to confess. I said, no, I don't want to listen to your sins. I know there are so many sins because I never heard her going to confession. So I am anticipating then that there must be long list of sins never uttered to any priest, and she wanted me to hear. But I said, no, I cannot hear to your sins, and I will call the parish priest. So I went to the parish and I asked the parish priest to listen to her confession, but which she submitted, and then said, okay, but you sit there. I will say my sins to this priest, but sit there. And she shouted at the priest as if the priest was having hearing impediments. So for me to hear all the sins, well, then I smiled there and she looked at me, and then after another scene, I smiled again, and also venial sins, big sins, mortal sins, plenty, for more than 20 minutes. And after confessing her sins, and she called me, come here. So I went there and said, can I recline on your chest? I said, of course. Yes, naglambing siya. And after that, she looked at me, smiled, and gone. Beautiful, after the confession. And the other one, I was not there, but I quarreled, my father quarreled me, not me quarreling my father. I shared this with the Fire of God ministry. My father quarreled me during the homily. And I was delivering a homily, and my father shouted at me because of a wrong message. My mother died of aneurysm. 2 of the main veins of her brain burst, and it was instant death on the spot. She collapsed while preparing coffee for my father. It was about 9:30 in the morning. And I came to know about the news only about 6:15 because of my busy schedules, having visited Japan for the whole year, for whole 8 months, and I have so many pending tasks in the university, so I have to settle them all until long meetings from 8 to 6:15, and 48 missed calls from home, unanswered. And when I found out that it was about my mother, and then I was told, Mama fell down in our rest house in our farm, because I put up a small house in our farm where I could hide from the crowd if I wished to be alone with my parents. But it is at our farm along the riverbank. It's a nice place, so beautiful. And Mama used to take care of that house. And she once, if she felt something, she would go to that house. So that particular morning before, she was told by my dad not to go to the farm. But she said, no, I want to see the farm after harvest. And I want to see the house because it has been abandoned. And I promised to come home already for the 50th wedding anniversary of my parents. And it was scheduled August 18. Oh, my goodness. And she was thinking of me and preparing my rest house. It was very small, but beautiful. And she was about to get hot water to be put in the mug of my father. And when all of a sudden she fell, just natumba and gone. And so I delivered the following homily here. I said, you know, every one of us has our own interpretation on the death of my mother. As a son who is a priest, I have my own reading. And I want to share it with the entire family, particularly my dad, my siblings. I looked at the coffin of my mom, and then I touched her. I said, Inay, daghan kaayong salamat tungod sa imong gugma kanamo. Kay bawo ka, mga pobre mi, kaming tanan. At di kaganahan makita mi mas pobre pa. You know that we are poor, and you do not want us to be poorer and suffer. And that's why you choose just to go without causing so much pain to us. Ay, nagtindo ka ako, Dad. I said, I cannot accept that one. That's only good for you who did not see, but not for me who was there when your mother fell down. What kind of message is that? What kind of priest son you are? Oh, my goodness. So he shouted at me, no? And I said, yeah, I was not there, but you were there. But you were not doing anything. You were helpless. You could not even extend Mama's life in 1 single second because she was pronounced dead right there in front of your eye. But as a son who is a priest, I have witnessed. I have my iPad with me, and I immediately get my iPad. I showed them this one. I said, this is the illustration. I have encountered patients like this. In coma for 3 years. Siblings, children sell everything, paying the hospital bills until they become poorer and poorer. At the end of the day, the patient died, leaving everybody poor and poorer than ever. And I looked to my mother again, Inay, daghan kayong salamat. And everyone clapped their hands. I said, yes, that's the best. From this moment on, I don't want to see anybody cry. Let's rejoice. That's how much we are loved by my mother. But you know, that's stupid homily. That was stupid homily. Don't follow me, I'm bad. I'm very ungrateful to mother and rejoicing because of the passing of Mama. No? But that was how my father interpreted. But he didn't know how broken I was. And I told him, I came all the way from the Philippines. We made a promise. And I told you, if you are dead and informing me, I will not come home. That was our promise. But if you are sick, I am the first son to come by your side. Whatever it takes and whatever it cost me. But since Mama died, I suppose not to come. But I have to come to tell you the good news. She loves us. And particularly she loves you. So that you will not be poorer and poorer and die poor more than her. And no more sadness. And then I said, okay. So okay po siya. But, you know, my beloved friends, this is all because of Jenny May. The last two statements she uttered after the anointing, because I was with Bart only inside. The picture I saw you was taken by Lyra May, my sister who studied pharmacy. She was not allowed to enter because of the conditions of the hospital. Jenny May told me two things. And I will remember these two messages because she was like God talking to me. One, she said something, definition of love, and I quote, to love is to see God in our pain. It's a very strange definition, no? To love is to see God in our pain. At sabi niya sa akin, don't worry, Dad. Mahal naman kita. At kaya ko ito with God. But I have another message for you. She removed this oxygen thing. And then the second message is the most challenging for me. And I quote, your priesthood must be a way through which those in pain, the poor, shall see and experience God. It was a message of death, but I will convert it as a message of resurrection for you. When I entered a while ago, it was towards the end of the worship. I heard the sound down, and I have been longing because of this studio-like center. I was very selfish. I told them last time, the sound must be very beautiful coming out like from a recording studio. I heard so beautiful sounds of your singings from there, and I stopped 3 times just to enjoy my step up with the worships that you have. But what if I translate your worship tonight as one? Our lives must be an instrument through whom other people can see God and see the many graces bestowed on us. I have to be very thankful to you. You brought in here at all cost my scholars so that they can have a totally new experience in life. Nobody remembered them for such. I brought them to Talamban so that my kids can sing there, and everyone surprised. And then when I went back this Saturday, said, Dad, they called me Dad. Now, it used to be Father Aleks or Father Hines. So, they followed tricks na, crazy tricks. No. Dad man tawag ni tricks na ko dito. So, everybody is contaminated by that. Dad, kano sa mi mo balik dito? Kano sa mi pwede mo tambong sa worship sa Sacred Heart Charismatic Community? And I said, wait, if I am free, I will bring you there one of these Tuesdays, even if you are not invited. And I will bring you back home safe and sound. Or I will bring you to our community so that you can sleep there early dawn. I will bring you home so that you will not be late for your schoolings. What if such a gesture of invitation is just like an invitation of the resurrected Lord? Go and proclaim the gospel to every nation in our way. There are so many, I believe that there are so many confused people. There are people who wish to see God. There are people who wish to belong to a community. There are so many issues of mental health today. Everyone becomes concerned of mental health as if that nabuang na tanan diri. Pero, but yeah, this is a serious issue in the Philippines today of mental health. There are so many movements now coming. It's just that we are not in a very healthy conditions. It might be sick because people never seen God in the first place. That's why there are so many brokenness in homes, in the societies, in the politics, in everywhere. And what if is as an Easter person, Easter community, we are challenged by the message of Jenny. To love is to see in our pains God. Don't consider coming to this place as a burden every Tuesday. It should be a joyful experience. And that's the Easter message there. Through our sacrifice, we hope that God is revealed and God is seen and experienced by people. That's the first message. I brought one Shinto student here. She is not Catholic. She is a Shinto. Her name is Ayano Ito. This is a Japanese. When you do crazy things, you become the focal or the focus of questions. It used to be my practice. I visited all these poor people, and then I bring poor people to our community. And then when I was in Nagoya, I joined the every Thursday apostolate of the SVDs there. And many of us did not think that Japanese are poor too. But there are so many poor Japanese there. But the definition of poor is not the definition of the World Bank, not having $1.5 a day or $2 a day. Kasi kung $2 ang a day, wala naman pobre sa Pilipinas. $2 is about